Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session. My name is Abdul Chohan. Apologies, we had to change the timings because of a clash. But hopefully we'll kind of get everything covered, and I'm more than happy to stay on afterwards if people have other questions as well. I'll just give me one more minute, a couple of minutes, whilst there might be other people that are wanting to join, and then we'll just get straight into Socrative. So let's have a look. Okay, I think we will make a start. What I will do is I'll leave some time at the end. I'm more than happy for people to speak and talk. Mona, I can just see that you've put your hand up. I'm going to allow you to talk. Feel free to speak. Ove, I'm going to do the same for you as well if you need to speak, because there's not that many others on.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
Amazing, but I'm not sure if you're sharing your screen. I'm not seeing anything at the moment.
No, I'm going to be sharing my screen now in a moment.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. You're welcome. Right, so let's get started. I will now share my screen, Mona. You should be able to see it. Okay, so here we are. And I just kind of go into this presentation mode. Let me just first and foremost do a bit of an introduction. So my name is Abdul Chohan. I'm the Vice President of Learning at Showbie. My background is as a high school chemistry teacher. I was teaching for many years. I was then part of the senior leadership team for about 11 years or so, and then principal of a high school here in the UK. I've then gone on to kind of be a co-founder of a school as well, which I'm the chair of the board there at the moment. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a very, very interesting journey. And actually, over the last 3 or 4 years, I've been working with organizations to help build digital strategies. Now, Socrative has kind of been, more recently, I joined Showbie as part of their Vice President of Learning. So Socrative is actually an application that was acquired by Showbie in 2018, and it's used mainly for assessment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of run you through the way in which Socrative works. And obviously at this moment in time, I'm kind of just presenting off my iPad, but to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter which device you are on. So I'm just going to go straight into a browser mode. And if I just kind of go straight into Socrative, here we are. It will bring me up on this page. And I'm going to kind of show you this from a teacher perspective. If I just tap on login on the top right-hand corner, you'll then notice that you are introduced with two options, the student login or the teacher login. I'm going to tap on teacher login. And when I do that, it takes me to this screen and it's asking me to log in. So I log in with a password. In this scenario, I have a pro account. Therefore, I'm going to show you some of the pro features as well. But what you'll notice on this screen is a few different things. And I just kind of want to make sure that you understand what the main screen is about. So you'll see these large circles here. This is the place where you can launch a quiz. And we know that because of the launch menu. We're in the launch menu here. And if we can launch a normal quiz, I'll show you what a normal quiz looks like in a minute. We can do a space race, which is like a gamified version of a quiz. It's not massively gamified, but it can create a sense of competition in a classroom environment or in an environment where people are wanting to compete with one another in terms of answering questions. Then there's an exit ticket, which is pretty much kind of like feedback towards the end of a lesson for the person that organized the quiz. You can also do quick questions like multiple choice, true, false, short answer. And that's kind of like in the moment. So just about an hour ago, I was presenting through Zoom, and on my slides, I put up a question to do with education, something to do with, is verbal feedback included in your policy? And it was, or actually I phrased it the other way around. It was going to be like, verbal feedback is something that we do in our school. right? And it was a true or false question. So all I did was I clicked on the quick question here, and I was then able to see in real time how many people are saying true, how many people are choosing false. And I was able to invite, the audience to have a go at doing this as well. And I'm going to show you how all of that works. So let's just go back to the main menu, which is launch. Then you have something else on the menu called quizzes. So quizzes, if we click on launch, first of all, this is the place where we launch quizzes. We cannot create quizzes here. We can only launch quizzes. If we go into quizzes, this menu here, this is the place where we can create quizzes. And you can see that I've got a whole bunch of quizzes that I've already made, okay? And they are very, very easy to create. So if I was to click on the plus icon here, add quiz and create new, then here I have a template. And if I just hover my mouse over different things, I can interact. So if I was to change the title, I could do this. If I was to do learning, if I just make a quiz learning about Socrative, okay, and there's a align to quiz standard. If I switch that on, I can kind of tag it with certain subjects and certain core, which core is it connected with and so on. I have to select the subject first and so on, but you can kind of align it to that. It's more connected to the US kind of curriculum, but I know a lot of teachers in the UK don't necessarily use this aspect of it, whereas in the US they will do, but it's not a big deal in many ways. It's just kind of allows you to, if you've got a lot of quizzes, it can kind of just support in searching. Okay, so we've put the title in. Now we have to choose which question do we want to go with first, a short answer, a true or false, or a multiple choice. So I could go straight into multiple choice, for example, and you'll see I end up with this template. It's so simple and it's so easy to use. So I could ask a question, right? Is Socrative, hang on, let me phrase this different way. Which device can Socrative be used with? Right? And if I just say something like iPad only as one option, I could do something like laptops only. I could do this one if I was to do something like Chromebooks only. And if I wrote any device, okay, and I have to choose my correct answer, and the correct answer is D, so I just click on D, right? And I could have, if I wanted to, with any of the text anywhere, I can very, very easily select a word and make it bold, italic, underline, the subscript, superscript as well. I've even got the option to bring up a new on-screen keyboard for mathematical and scientific symbols. So if I click on insert effects and click on this keyboard, actually I'm going to get a bunch of other kind of symbols and stuff that I can use, that I can edit and change and so on, right down to the Greek alphabet and so on as well. I can do all of that. So that's kind of quite a useful and a powerful thing for me to be able to do. It's kind of very, very easy, not so difficult at all, but obviously quite useful if you've got that kind of a subject that you teach. Now, you can have multiple answers that might be correct. Okay, in this case, it doesn't apply, but I'm just showing. And if you wanted to, rather than having this as a 1-point question, you can make it into a 2-point question because you have to select the two things. Okay, so that's something that you can absolutely do. What you'll also notice to the right of me here, there are some plus icons. So I could very easily, if I was to click on this, I could add an image. So I could just go to my photo library. If you're using a laptop, then you could do it that way, and you can pick whatever photos you have and upload that. It might be a screenshot of an exam question, a PDF, an image. It could be whatever you wanted it to be, and you can upload that. You can also, instead of having text, you could just upload images as well. So you have to select from the images. So your question might be, which photo best describes, or which image best describes X, Y, and Z, and you have images here, and people can select. You can add more answers here. So if you want A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you can add them here. And you also get an explanation. So the explanation comes up after the student has answered the question. Okay, so the explanation comes up after the students have answered the question. So they've answered, they'll get feedback whether it was right or wrong, and then you could do something like and put a little bit more detail in. So you could do something like Socrative only needs to have a browser, otherwise it will work on any device. Okay, so I could just put something like this and I'm done, and that's my question done. And once I've done, and that's the only question I want, I can hit save and exit. Otherwise, I could add true or false. Okay, here we are, right? And I can do Socrative does not integrate with Showbie. Now, I'm not going to do, there is a session on Showbie. If you don't know what Showbie is, I'm going to be doing that on Thursday. So feel free to sign up for that. Showbie is a really powerful assessment tool and feedback tool, and Showbie plugs into that. So if I was to make that statement, well, actually that's false, because Socrative does integrate with Showbie, and here I can kind of add an explanation if I want to as well. You get the idea. And finally, there's a short answer question here. So here, this is kind of like a more open-ended question that you could kind of use. What are the benefits of using Showbie? Question mark. Explain how it can be used for summative assessment, right? So you could have an explanation type thing. Now, this is kind of interesting. Again, you might have this as a 5-marker question or something like that if you wanted to, right? That's absolutely possible. And you can kind of change that to whatever you want. And what you'll notice here as well is, if it was a 1-word answer, you could actually put some correct answers in, but because this is not going to be, this is something that you might mark manually, because it's an explanation, and just putting the words in is not really going to answer anything, then you can remove answers as well, and then you can put an explanation in here. And then you can add any combination, multiple choice, true, false, short answer. Is entirely up to you. You can go ahead and do that. Okay. So just watch this now, right? I'm going to just save and exit this. And you'll notice there's our quiz. Now, I can share this quiz. So say, for example, I made this quiz and somebody else wants it. I can just click on the share button. It makes this link. I just email it to them, WhatsApp it to them, message it to them. As long as they got this link and they're signed into Socrative, it will automatically copy this quiz over for them, and then it duplicates it, so you can go in and you can edit and change and so on, and that's kind of quite possible to be able to do. Of course, very easily, you can select, you can delete, you can even merge quizzes as well. Very, very simple to do. One other aspect of Socrative that's important to understand is, if we go to rooms, in rooms, what you'll find is this is where you can create what is known as a room. Okay, so it has to be unique. That means that if I make a room here, so for example, I've got a room called CHS2, that means that I cannot have another room, or you cannot have another room, or anybody on Socrative cannot have another room called CHS2. It has to be this. Okay, so the rooms are unique. At the moment, you'll notice this one room here, polling audience, that's in that is actually highlighted in bold, and polling audience is also here at the top. that just tells us that we are actually in the polling audience room. If we want to change rooms, we can either click on another room and say yes, and it will change our room. You'll notice nothing, it doesn't look different anywhere else. It's just the name at the top that's changed. So if I was to just go to a room, and let me just go to webinar 001. Okay, and what I can do from here is, if I just go back to rooms, and let's just say I wanted you to come to my room, then actually I could use this link button. And if I give this link to my students, or I could make a QR code out of it, then actually the students will automatically join the room by just clicking on this. Okay, very, very simple to do, right? In fact, I can copy it, I can paste it somewhere, and you would be able to join the room. What I would like you to do is, I'd like you to be able to kind of join my room. Let's have a go at doing a quiz. Okay, let's have a go at doing a quiz. The room that you're going to join is webinar 001. Let's see if you can join that. And the way that you join my room is very simple. You just need to go to Socrative again. Okay, so just go to Socrative.com. Okay, and just go to login. And you need to go to student login. So click on student login, Socrative.com, then login, then student login. Okay, when you click on student login, it brings you to this page, and guess what? It's asking you for a room name. So here, you need to add in your room name, which I will bring up here, which is webinar 001. So put that in. Let me see if that allows you to join. So if I just put in webinar 001. Okay, right. So it's not allowing you to connect. Okay, this is important to know. This is not allowing you to connect because this room is already linked with a room in Showbie. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a different room name. Okay, and I'd like you to put that in. So let me bring up another room name. Let me just add a room, and I'm going to type in SOC tutorial 2021 add. Okay, so here we are, SOC tutorial 2021. I'm going to change to that room. So I'd like you to join this room. And you can see that one person has already joined. I didn't get that.
All right, there you go. My thing, by the way. Bye.
Okay, so we've got 3 people in the room. You can see by this orange number here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch the quiz. So if I just click on quiz, and let me just go to World Facts Quiz. I'm going to launch this, and I'm going to hit next. So watch what I have. So we've, again, let me just did that a little bit quick. So we have to be in launch because we're going to launch the quiz now. I'm going to choose quiz.
I'm not sure I am.
And once I go here, I'm going to go to World Facts Quiz. And then I could choose any quiz that I've got here. I'm going to choose this one. And then I'm going to go next. And here, we now does this really nice thing where it's going to ask me what kind of a quiz do I want to launch. Do I want to launch like a teacher-paced quiz where actually I, as a teacher, control the flow of questions and I monitor responses as they happen? Or do I want this to be like an open navigation, which means I can launch the quiz and I get to monitor the results, but I could just leave the quiz running for a weekend, for a longer period of time. It doesn't really matter. You have the freedom as students to go in and correct your answers. You can answer the questions in any order. It's kind of pretty open. And then you have instant feedback, which is kind of like, a bit more didactic, like you cannot change the answer once you've put your answer in. You have to answer the question that pops up on your screen in order. And you will get, if I've written any feedback in there, that you will get that as we go along as well. So let's choose instant feedback. And here I can force you to put your names in. I'm going to say shuffle questions, so you don't all get to see the questions in the same order. So you will get all the questions, but you're going to get them in different order. And if I hit the start button, you'll notice now the quiz is starting. And as a teacher, I get to see any activity that happens right here on my screen. Now, I'm going to hide the results. I'm switching off the results here, and I'm switching off the responses. So all I can see now is, and I might be in the classroom, then this is why it's a great hybrid tool, that I could have just thrown this up on the big screen, and I can just see if people are actually completing this. So at this moment in time, I can see, for example, Ovi has done one question, Mona's done one question here, and so on. And I can see the percentage pass rate. So this was great in the classroom in front of the students, because it gets that engagement. They have to complete the questions and so on. If I wanted to, I could show responses. This isn't saying what's right and wrong, but you're kind of seeing responses, and actually some of the smart students might work out from the percentage pass rate at the bottom. But I'm just going to hide these for the moment. And the percentage pass rate is a really useful indicator for me as a teacher, because it's kind of telling me that actually question 2 people might be struggling with, and not a lot of people have answered it yet. Or actually question 5 people might have struggled with, and so on. So I kind of get to know how well questions are being answered. The colors at the top, the yellow one is multiple choice. That's true or false. The orange one is an open-ended question, and so on. And it's up to me. If I want to wait and wait till everybody hits 100% in terms of progress here, I can just change it to progress. So I can see like 2 people have completed everything. I could even do it by score, but I'll just do it by progress at the moment. And then if I want to, I don't have to wait for everybody to finish. I can hit the finish button whenever I want to. Okay, but we'll wait for everybody to finish. And then you'll notice that I can show responses, and I can even show results by color coding things and so on. Okay, now interesting to note that although, can you see, like in the open-ended question, it's looking for the spelling to be correct. So it's not going to pick up something that actually is correct, but it's not spelled correctly. So that's something to be aware of as well. So okay, if I hit the finish button, then that activity is finished. Okay, now I get to do some interesting things. I can export this, and I'm going to get 3 kinds of reports here. If I do the complete results Excel and I just do download, it will download a complete results Excel sheet. Download, and here we are. And if I click on it, you'll see this open up. There we are. So it's telling us this was the quiz right here. It's telling us the student names. It's telling us the percentage score as a hashtag, the average score, right? This can be used to compare one class with another class or the same class all the way through. And then I'm getting a spreadsheet of the questions as well as the answers, color-coded and so on. Okay. I can also have individual student PDFs. So if I click on this, and I include any explanations and correct answers and hit download, then I also get a very interesting report that I can give feedback to each individual student. So if I just do download, that's going to download here. And if I open this up, it usually comes in a zip file, and then I open that up, open the folder, and look, there's one for each of you. Now your names are actually in the file names as well. But if I open one, right, you get the idea. So there's Mona. I get the percentage pass rate. Well done, you got 100%, right? And any feedback is here as well, and so on. Now I kind of need to get one that is got a question wrong as well. Oh, we're on getting things right. So I can see. Ove, thank you for doing this on purpose for me, right? So you spelled that incorrectly. You can see, look, if I would have put that into the options, then actually this would have been done correctly. And there's one other one here, right? Okay, this is a good one. Thank you, VR, for doing this. So look, you get a question wrong. It's telling you which is the correct answer. We opted for that. Okay, so we've got that here as well. So that's kind of that's useful. And finally, the other type of report that you get is a results summary. And if I just download this, and if I do download, here we are. This is a really interesting one. This is like for the person that's launching the quiz, like it's telling me question 1, the class did okay. Actually, one person, there was a misunderstanding there. Maybe it's a small class. I should go back and correct them. Question 2, no problem. Everybody got this. That's the first time I've seen that. Mostly people get this wrong. Okay, and well done for question 3 as well. Well done for question 4 as well. Here, actually, there isn't a misunderstanding, but actually, if there was a misunderstanding, you kind of see the distribution of correct and incorrect answers, and you can kind of correct that. So these reports are kind of really useful, and we are always available in reports, right? So they kind of get stored here. So you can always go back and collect them whenever you want to. If I went to a different room, so if I just change rooms, you guys stay in this room, I'll be back here again. If I just go to P table, for example, right, and I go to reports, you'll see there's hundreds of reports here that I've done with other classes and so on, right? So, and I can always go back and have a look at that and so on. So that's kind of quite interesting. So if I just go back to our room, let's have a go at quizzes. No, let's launch a space race. I'm going to do the same quiz, but this time have a look how it's different. Space race, world facts quiz. So you already know the answers. Hit next. And now it allows me to make teams. So I might just say, actually, I want 2 teams. And it'll allow you to choose which color team you want to be on. I'll choose the spaceship icon. I'll even put a countdown timer. 1 minute is all you're going to get. I'm going to shuffle questions and I'm going to do start. Watch what happens. There you go. Your quiz should have launched again. If you're still in the room. And as you answer the questions, they will ask you what team you want to join. You can automatically assign as well. And as you answer the questions, the ships begin to move, or your object begins to move from left to right. Yeah. And the competition is, obviously you have this on the big screen, and the competition is who can get to the right-hand side the fastest. It's not measuring the correct answers, it's just measuring how quickly the questions answer. So you can kind of get a bit of engagement. Looks like Magenta is going to win this one. And oh yeah, Magenta wins. Warp speed, there it is. Okay, brilliant, right? And I can stop this whenever I want to as well. Doesn't mean I have to wait for everybody to finish and so on. So it's a very simplified version of a quiz and so on. And then if I want to hit the finish button, I can. And when I do hit the finish button, I still get like a table of results that I can answer, and I can see responses and results and all that kind of stuff and so on. So that kind of covers Socrative. Okay, kind of gives you a basic understanding of what Socrative does and how it works. If I was to just kind of go back to the presentation, a couple of things that you should know. It does allow teachers to design their own assessments and share with other educators globally. It does self-mark true or false open-ended questions, and it does provide some detailed reports as well. It can it shows that distribution of correct and incorrect answers, so allowing you to correct misconceptions. That's a really important aspect that might be useful for you. And the real-time assessment means that actually as educators or trainers, you can determine active and inactive students. You can monitor the percentage pass rate, and that's important in kind of planning the next steps for learning. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. And again, my details are here. My email is there. Feel free to connect and reach out. I will kind of go back to Zoom. If anybody's got questions, I'm more than happy to kind of allow you to speak, or you can unmute yourselves and you can ask questions. I'm more than happy to kind of do that. So feel free to kind of Mo, Mahmoud, and Val, I've just given you the ability to speak as well. Any questions? Okay, in that case, I'm going to stop there. Feel free to come back for the Showbie session on Thursday. Of course, you have my email. Again, apologies for the delay in the start, but we've absolutely covered everything that we need to. So if you need to kind of come back to me on anything, then absolutely feel free to do that. Oh, we've got Q&A here. Let me just see. Oh, you're welcome, Mona. You're most welcome. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, wherever you may be in the different parts of the world, and I hope you stay safe. Thank you. Bye-bye.